You're listening or watching Radio Afinju. The time is 6 p.m.
Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfínjú. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfínjú. Rédíò. Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Lórí WhatsApp. Àfínjú. Instagram. Àfínjú. Facebook. Àfínjú. Lórí X. Àfínjú. Lórí YouTube. Àfínjú. Lórí TikTok. Àfínjú. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfínjú. Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfínjú. Rédíò. Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú.
This is the world news on Radio Afinju.
First, a look at the highlights. FG seeks collective efforts to protect schools. One death confirmed in Lagos building collapse. Americans told to mourn Charlie Kirk respectively or face consequence. Good evening and welcome to the World News on Radio Afinju. My name is Durotoye. The news in detail. To mark the International Day to Protect Education from Attack, Nigerians have been charged to ensure schools remain safe environments where children can learn and teachers can teach without fear. The Federal Ministry of Education made the call in a statement shared on its official Twitter handle, stating that the Permanent Secretary, Abel Eniton, represented by the Ministry's Director of Human Resources Management, Saheed Yusuf, emphasized that insecurity in schools is unacceptable and stressed that protecting schools is vital to safeguarding the future of the nation's learners. UNICEF Nigeria's Chief of Education, Vanessa Lee, also speaking, reaffirmed the organization's commitment to safe and resilient learning environments and underscored the need for teacher training, community involvement, and strong partnership to ensure that schools remain secure spaces for education. Recall that last week, the ministry unveiled a revised basic education curriculum aimed at nurturing patriotic, socially responsible and future-ready Nigerian citizens, which is to take effect from the 2025-2026 academic session. The Osun state government has disclosed that it will take action on the matter of jailed Akpetumodu of Ikpetumodu, Joseph Oloyede, as it instructed the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to take action on the ugly development. This was made known in a statement issued and signed by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Kolakbo Alimi, at the end of a State Executive Council meeting. Recall that Oloyede was recently jailed in the United States of America for a COVID-19 fraud and was ordered to serve 3 years of supervised release after imprisonment and pay over $4 million in restitution, a judgment that has, however, thrown the Ikpetumodu town into a succession crisis as kingmakers have refused to declare a vacancy for the Akpetumodu of Ikpetumodu. The princes, however, have insisted that the state government decide on replacing Oloyede. It was also gathered that royal stuff has been missing from the private residence of the jailed traditional ruler, and sources say the absence of these objects could spell disaster for the town. A probe has been ordered into alleged fake letters issued to some applicants who applied for teaching appointments in Ondo State. It was reported that the aggrieved applicants staged a protest in front of the governor's office, Akure, the state capital, on Friday, calling on the governor to investigate the alleged fake appointment letters given to them by officials of the state government. The state government recently embarked on the recruitment of 2,000 teachers into primary and secondary schools across the 18 local government areas of the state. But the protesters were said to have been denied access to continue the process of formal recruitment after allegedly being issued fake appointment letters by some government officials. The Ondo State Governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, in a swift response in a statement issued by his Chief Press Secretary Ebenezer Adeniyo, ordered the invitation of the concerned applicants as part of the investigation. According to the statement, the government had already taken disciplinary action against 3 officials allegedly involved in the scandal. Following the collapse of a 3-story building at Alagomeji in the Yaba area of Lagos State, 1 person has been confirmed dead. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in its report said the body of a male victim was recovered from the rubble during ongoing search and rescue operations, and search and rescue operations is still going on at the building collapse scene. Recall that 4 people had been rescued alive from the structure, which caved in last night, with varying eyewitness accounts saying 6 people were trapped and others reporting 5. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Fire Service has now reported that 8 construction workers had been rescued from the site of the collapsed building. The Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria, DAPMAN, has warned that the repeated reductions in prices of premium motor spirit by the Dangote refinery were not patriotic gestures, saying the price cuts by the refinery ignored their timing and market impact. The association's executive secretary, Olufemi Adewale, in a statement noted that unchecked claims and practices by Dangote Refinery are squeezing local businesses and could worsen fuel costs for ordinary Nigerians already battling a fragile economy. The warning followed the latest reduction in gantry price by the refinery to 820 naira per litre for Lagos and other southwestern states. Lagos and other southwestern states will see fuel retailing at 841 naira per litre, while Abuja, Rivers, Delta, Edo and Kwara states will sell at 851 naira per litre. The association said it has watched with dismay the unfolding tensions between the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers. It also clarified the widespread belief that Nigeria's downstream stability rests solely on one refinery, and further kicked against an allegation that its members sell substandard products to consumers, adding that the refinery does not offer free delivery to buyers. A hit-and-run accident has killed a girl believed to be around 15 years old at the Muslim Underbridge area in Ibadan along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. According to eyewitness accounts, the incident occurred earlier in the afternoon as the girl attempted to cross the expressway from one side of the bridge to the other before she was struck by a speeding vehicle whose driver failed to stop and fled the scene immediately after the collision. As of the time of this report, the identity of the deceased remains unknown, while a lifeless body lies by the roadside with onlookers and residents gathering in shock and sorrow. However, efforts are ongoing to reach the police public relations officer Adewale Osifesho for official confirmation. A 62-year-old woman, Ayinda Dauda, has been stabbed to death in Kirmin Gwari, Kaduna South local government area of Kaduna State by a wheelbarrow pusher who usually assisted her on market days. The incident was revealed by security expert Zagazola Makama on his X handle, saying eyewitnesses revealed that the suspect attacked the victim with a knife, robbing her of money, a mobile phone, and other valuables before escaping. Ayinda was rushed to the hospital for treatment but was later confirmed dead by doctors, and her family declined a post-mortem examination, requesting that she be released for burial. Police say investigations are ongoing and efforts are being made to track down the fleeing suspects. And on the foreign scene, following a week of deadly violence in Nepal that ended in the appointment of the country's first woman prime minister, President Ramchandra Paudel has dissolved parliament and called for fresh elections on March 5th, 2026. Paudel's office made the announcement in a statement, coming just hours after he announced that former Chief Justice Sushila Karki would lead the country on an interim basis following the deadly Gen Z-led anti-graft protests that forced former Prime Minister Sharma Oli to resign. Karki was appointed after 2 days of intense negotiations between Paudel, Army Chief Ashok Sigdal, and the protest leaders behind Nepal's worst turmoil in years, sparked by a social media ban that has since been reversed, in which at least 51 people were killed and more than 1,300 injured. Nepal's southern neighbor, India, said it hoped that the development would help foster peace and stability. In Europe, for a demonstration organized by the anti-immigrant and anti-Islam activist Tommy Robinson, tens of thousands of protesters marched through central London carrying flags of England and Britain. Robinson, who describes himself as a journalist, exposing state wrongdoing and counts U.S. billionaire Elon Musk among his supporters, has built the Unite the Kingdom March as a celebration of free speech. It is also expected to mourn Charlie Kirk, the American conservative activist shot dead on Wednesday. At midday, protesters were packed into streets south of the River Thames before heading towards Westminster, seat of the UK Parliament, with a stand-up to racism counter-protest also meeting nearby, following a highly charged summer in Britain that has seen protests over immigration and free speech. Demonstrators carried the Union flag of Britain and the red and white St. George's Cross of England, while others brought American and Israeli flags and wore the MAGA hats of the United States. President Donald Trump, while chanting slogans critical of Prime Minister Keir Starmer, some attendees were with children. London's Metropolitan Police said it had more than 1,600 officers deployed across London, including 500 brought in from other forces to police the two demonstrations. In the Americas, after the fatal shooting of right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk, U.S. Republicans have issued a warning for Americans to mourn him respectfully or suffer the consequences. Over the past several days, Democratic and Republican leaders have wildly condemned the mother of Kirk, a 31-year-old activist and Trump world celebrity known for his hard-right views and confrontational debating style. A bit of commentators, including ordinary people, joking about and sometimes celebrating Kirk's death to lawmakers also surfaced, only to be targeted in organized campaigns. According to a tally based on interviews, public statements and local press reports, at least 13 people, which includes journalists, academic workers and teachers, have been fired for suspended from their jobs after discussing the killing online. Others have been subjected to torrents of online abuse or seen their offices flooded with calls demanding they be fired, part of a surge in right-wing rage that has followed the killing. It was reported that some Republicans want to go further still and have proposed deporting Kirk's critics from the United States, suing them into penury or banning them from social media for life. In the Middle East, as part of a corruption investigation, a Turkish prosecutor has detained the mayor of Istanbul district, Hasan Mutlu, along with other 47 officials on charges including embezzlement, bribery and tender rigging. The state broadcast media revealed that the police carried out early morning raids at 72 locations to seize documents detaining Mutlu and several of his deputies. Mutlu, from the main opposition Republican People's Party, in a post on X, said he had nothing to hide and called the investigation a political operation based on unfounded slander. He is the latest in the line of more than a dozen mayors from the Republican People's Party, along with hundreds of officials to be arrested in recent months on corruption allegations, including Istanbul's mayor and leader of CHP, Ekrem İmamoğlu. Now talking sports. Arsenal have gone top of the Premier League table following a commanding 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest in today's early kick-off. The Gunners came back from their international break looking to bounce back from a 1-0 defeat at Liverpool, and they dominated the early exchanges at the Emirates Stadium before Martin Zubimendi volleyed in the opener before the break. Immediately after the restart, Eberechi Eze fed Victor Gyökeres to double Arsenal's advantage and take the game away from Forest, while Zubimendi headed in his second goal of the match as Mikel Arteta's men recorded another huge win at home. As the result takes Arsenal to the summit with 9 points from 4 fixtures, Liverpool will have the chance to overtake them on Sunday when they travel to Burnley. Still talking sports, Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard has suffered yet another blow on his shoulder, forcing him off the pitch against Nottingham Forest. Odegaard was forced to leave the pitch in the 17th minute of the Premier League clash against Nottingham Forest and was replaced by 18-year-old Ethan Nwaneri. Odegaard's injury comes as a huge blow for the Gunners ahead of their Champions League opener against Athletic Club and a trip to Etihad Stadium for the Premier League fixture against Manchester City next week. Odegaard was named on the Arsenal bench against Liverpool before the international break as he was nursing a shoulder injury that he picked up after falling awkwardly on his shoulder against Leeds United. Similarly, Mikel Arteta is already missing the services of key first-team players like Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka and William Saliba, who are all out injured. Before we go, here again are the highlights. To mark the International Day to Protect Education from Attack, Nigerians have been charged by the federal government to ensure schools remain safe environments where children can learn and teachers can teach without fear. Following the collapse of a three-story building at Alagomeji in the Yaba area of Lagos State, the National Emergency Management Agency has confirmed the recovery of a male victim's body from the rubble during ongoing search and rescue.